Imagine you're watching basketball in 2008. The three-point line is that little bonus option. A play you pull out when you're desperate. Then someone dribbles in, steps back 30 feet, releases with a flick and swish. Suddenly, you don't just guard the paint and protect the rim, you guard everywhere. That someone is Stephen Curry. And today, the game looks completely different because of him. But more than the highlights, more than the splashy shot. What if I told you, Steph didn't just change how basketball is played, he changed what players believe is possible. In this video, we're diving into why Stephen Curry isn't just one of the greats, he's quite possibly the most influential player in basketball history. If you love basketball, innovation, or just love to witness someone rewriting the rulebook, stick around. Steph's story doesn't begin with instant stardom. Born the 14th of March 1988, in Akron, Ohio, to athletic parents, Father Del, Mother Sonia, and raised in a family where sport was life. He played college ball at Davidson College, where his breakout performance got national attention. Wikipedia. But even then, you wouldn't call him the prototypical future NBA superstar. Not the biggest, not the fastest, not a lockdown defender overshadowing his peers. He was wiry, overlooked by many scouts as a shooting guard only. Here's the point. The stage was set. The league had big men dominating, mid-range, mid-game, three-pointers happening, but not the way they would become. In the early 2010 seconds, something shifted. Curry stepped onto the scene for the Golden State Warriors and began hitting threes from anywhere. Not just catch and shoot, but dribble step, off-screen, deep. His range, his speed of release, the constant movement, these altered how defenses function. Statistically, the whole league felt it. One article noted that the number of three-point attempts in a season skyrocketed since Curry's emergence. Fadeaway world. What does that mean? That coaches, players, systems began to revolve around this idea. If you can shoot deep, you can stretch the defense. If you can move without the ball, you're less predictable. Curry forced the game's DNA to mutate. And it didn't just happen at the NBA level. He influenced AAU teams, youth drills. High school courts, kids started launching from beyond the arc with confidence. This is influence. Not just winning games, but affecting how everyone plays. Before Steph, traditional point guards were pass-first, mid-range shooters, facilitators. After Steph, guards became scoring threats, deep shooters, creators off dribble. Curry redefined the position. And the culture shifted too. Coaches emphasized shooting, spacing, movement. Scouts looked for can he shoot from deep, rather than just can he dunk? Analysts pointed out, literally, all of basketball is different because of Steph Curry. What's remarkable is that his influence transcends the hardwood. Selling jerseys, influencing brands, being a face of the game globally. Every time a young kid in Lagos, or Manila, or Toronto picks up a basketball and imagines draining a deep triple, they're tapping into the Curry effect. Of course, influence doesn't negate excellence. Curry has been extraordinary in his accomplishments. He's a four-time NBA champion 2015, 2017, 2018, 2022 with the Warriors. He was a two-time NBA MVP, the first unanimous MVP. He's been a first-team All-NBA selection and 11-time All-Star. He's done what matters on the court, but even more important for influence, he's done it his way. Not as the biggest, not as the flashiest, but through craft, dedication, intelligence, and joy. Influence isn't just about what you do in games, it's what you do off the court. Curry's faith, his family values, his outreach, he's someone young players can look up to. He's spoken about his upbringing and values publicly. The Times of India. His global reach? Massive. His ability to be a role model, a brand, a face of the NBA beyond the U.S. That amplifies his influence. So you're seeing a ripple. On-court style change. Off-court culture change. A new generation of players, coaches, teams saying, what Steph does we want to imitate? Now, no story of influence is without challenge. Here's the conflict. On one hand, you have traditionalists, those who believe the big men, the brute athleticism, the isolation-dominant star was the only way. On the other hand, here comes Curry, smaller guard, revolutionizing the game. He had to prove it. He had to endure doubters. Remember the 2016 NBA Finals? Warriors had a 73-9 season, led by Curry. But they blew a 3-1 lead in the finals. That moment, while not the end of his story, was a severe test. It was a component of the narrative, greatness, but also vulnerability. So how was the resolution achieved? By continuing to perform, by refining his craft, by competing, by winning again. By showing that the style he introduced was not a novelty, it was sustainable. Teams did try to replicate his system. Some failed, some succeeded. But the blueprint had changed. The resolution. The game evolves. Curry's influence survived the test. Now, as we look at today's NBA, you can see his embedded imprint everywhere. That's the resolution of the conflict between old and new, tradition and innovation. Think about how this makes you feel. A player coming in, not expected to dominate physically, ends up rewriting the story. That should give us hope. It should inspire us. For any of us on the court, in business, wherever what Steph did is, he didn't just aim for the trophy. He aimed to be different. He aimed to expand the boundaries. He aimed to lift others by raising the standard. And yes, when you're watching someone drain a 35-foot three in the final seconds, it's thrilling. But if you take a step back, you realize it's not just a shot, it's a statement. It's affirmation that limits are often self-imposed. I want you to feel awe, inspiration, respect, and maybe a little audacity, because maybe you too can redefine your game. Because that's what Stephen Curry did. He didn't just win. He changed the game. He changed the belief structure. And so he becomes not just a great player, but the most influential one ever. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit like, subscribe, ring that bell, so you don't miss more content like this. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Steph Curry moment? And what innovation in sport inspires you? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.